Triple trouble is about a one-eyed patient who has a corneal opacity with intumescent white cataract, with rock hard nucleus inside. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use any extra device, just carrying this patient with in a usual and normal way to complete the surgery. So this, you can see the figure of this patient's eye, because this patient lost one eye during childhood due to the smallpox, and this is the second eye which has a diffuse corneal opacity, and you can see intumescent cataract inside. He had multiple episodes of uveitis also earlier, and then he has a very hard nucleus. The biggest challenge in this patient was the visualization because of the corneal opacity, and then second challenge was the creating a good rhexis because of the raised intralenticular pressure, and nuclear disassembly because of the hard nucleus and the low endothelial cell count this patient already had. To enhance the visibility, the most important thing which I'm going to do here is, it is called as a tri-soft staining of the anterior capsule. So tri-soft staining means like you inject a dispersive visco first, and then underneath you inject a cohesive visco, and under the cohesive visco then you inject the 0.06% of trypan glue. The idea is to have a better staining of the anterior capsule, and secondly, the stain should not be taken up by the cornea, because this cornea is already hazy, and if this cornea takes up any amount of the stain, then your visibility will go low. Now you can see here now cornea, because you can't see even the opacity, because the capsule is so nicely stained and it's shining through that cornea, and you don't see the corneal opacity now at this stage. The second important step in this particular case was how to create a capsular rhexis, because there is a complete intumescence in the lens. So I plan to do a small needle aspiration technique in this, and I'm going to use a hypodermic needle to puncture the anterior capsule and aspirate. But you see, the moment I pricked the anterior capsule with the needle, the tear which was created by the needle opened up and extended to the periphery, and it landed up with the Argentinian flag sign. Now in Argentinian flag sign, the biggest problem is its further extension of the tear into the posterior capsule. And this patient has a hyperhydrated fluffy cortical material. The tear is extended to far periphery. So your surgical approach should be to prevent the extension of the tear into the posterior capsule. Number one, you have to decompress the bag. You have to restructure the tear which has already happened, the Argentinian flag sign. Your manipulation has to be least, and your phaco forces should be minimal, so that you save the cornea and you save the extension of the tear into the posterior capsule. Now, first thing what I'm doing here is decompression of the capsular bag with visco expression. I'm not going to do hydro procedure here, because I'm just expressing the fluffy material with the help of the visco. And then I'm pressurizing the anterior chamber with the visco pressurization, because I want to flatten the anterior capsule, and so that I could restructure the tear. To restructure the tear, so I'm going to give a small nick on one of the edge of the tear, and then hold the flap with the capsular rhexis forceps and try to make a semicircular capsular rhexis on one edge of the tear. So this was fairly okay, although it was not very good. But then you can see the next on the other side, I have already given one nick and holding the capsule and trying to make a semicircular rhexis on the other side. Now this went very well. Now, so now you have a fairly good rhexis, but you could see underneath you have a dark brown nucleus. Now disassembling or cracking this nucleus on the capsule which is already broken, and there is always chances of extending it into the posterior capsule, and along with you have a corneal opacity, you have a weak zonules, this particular patient, and the nucleus is very hard. So you have to use a technique which is going to be minimally stressful and minimally manipulated technique. So in this particular case, I'm going to use, this is my own device, Terminator, the olive tip cracker, because this device, the advantage of this device is, you can see here, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to hold the nucleus and bringing the nucleus away from that tear area and then hooking it and then cracking. You see, because I'm not putting any stress on that torn area of the capsule, holding the nucleus, bringing it away from the torn area and then cracking it. So no pressure is transmitted on the capsule. So you don't have any risk of the extension of the capsular tear. At the same time, you keep watching that flat motility sign, which is being described by Dr. Rohit Om Prakash. You can see the flap is it's flapping. So you don't. It means your tear has not extended into the posterior capsule. Now, once the nucleus is completely removed, you see the now you can see the corneal opacity. So diffuse corneal opacity. And the second step is how to place the IOL. Now, placing the IOL is very important because the haptics generally get stuck to that tear area. So you have to lift the IOL haptic and then dial it into the capsular bag. You can see now this IOL is placed perpendicular to the tear, and once the IOL is placed, I'm trying to remove the visco from the anterior chamber. I'm not going to go behind the lens in this particular case because going behind would increase the stress on the capsule. So once the visco is completely removed, you can see the IOL is well placed, well retained, and the capsule has not extended into the posterior capsule. It's intact. And this patient on 7th post-op day got 612 vision with minus 1.25 diopter of cylindrical power. IOL was well placed, stable, and there was no problem, and patient was quite happy. So this is the end of triple trouble. Thank you very much.